flying past, isn't it? It's the 12th of May. How is everyone tonight?
Good, except my picture's crooked, clearly.
Oh. That ghost that popped in a minute ago.
I think it's always complicated, isn't it, when you try and do it on a screen? Because I think you've made it worse now.
Yeah, I think I have. I think I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, we've got beautiful weather in the UK at the moment, so everyone is a lot happier. But we've been having some sort of really good shenanigans sort of going on with elections and things here. So we thought to start off, Rachel and I, between us, have got a few questions about the recent elections for the Mayor of London. Now, we had a chap called Sadiq Khan, who was the existing Mayor of London, who, as far as I know, everyone hates, and he's completely useless. And he had just run the election again. So we wanted to ask the cards, do the questions on that. First of all, was the election rigged? And if so, with the same systems that have been rigging other elections?
First card. Rigged. You better believe. Okay, so 2. So ace. It looks like it'll be discovered, though. Are people hollering about it yet? Because it looks like they're going to get called out on it.
Well, we're hoping so. I've never had more emails in a week about anything, but there's please ask Janine about this. I hope so, but we haven't seen. I don't know, Rachel. We're not seeing or hearing publicly about anyone officially doing anything about it, although lots of people seem to realise it's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've seen anything about it. Oh, what's that?
You're going to absolutely do something about it, slowly but surely. I feel it's going to get called out. So they're just waiting. There's a wait. I feel like this is, I don't know. I know it sounds nuts, but it feels like it's part of the wake up call.
Yeah.
It's the fiddly diddly system that's been going on. But he's destroyed London, like literally, the transport system, all the rest of it. He's just,
Yeah, they're doing this all over the place, having these politicians do their worst and then still somehow get away with it right in front of everybody so dramatically. I feel like it can't be anything but
so we were right.
A wake-up call. I mean, it's so weird.
I think it's really good because when it's something that obvious, I mean, he really is so unpopular. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anyone say that they like him. Sorry, Sadiq, but really, you're out of here. But I think you're right. I think it would be a really good wake-up call because, you know, it's so obvious that we had some really amazing other candidates. So it's so obvious that he would be the one to win. So
I asked again. I said, "How did he win?" Total deviousness.
Yeah.
So
it was the same. 2 o'clock in the morning. You know. Popping up.
Yep. I think they're just doing it really obviously on purpose.
Yeah, good. That's great. Well, don't worry, everyone. There you go. We're all going to find out, but all start making a fuss about it and kick up a fuss.
Make a fuss for sure.
There's a chap that does the London Reel, and he's quite an inspirational character. He's done a lot of public speaking and some really interesting interviews with lots of different people, and he was going for the Mayor of London as well. So, do you know what was his name?
Brian Rose.
Yes. Do you think?
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah,
a lot of people talk about him.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was the real winner.
I bet he was.
I'm going to ask who is the real winner, and I'll just describe what I get. Okay.
Right.
So you guys can put it together because you'd know the people better.
Yes.
Surrender to. So the real winner got it stolen. Okay. The Tower, the 10. Oh, interesting. Was there a woman running?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was she liked? Because she might have been the winner.
I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about her. Do you, Rachel?
No. I remember you
Yeah, and the other way you could read that though is the winner's coming up as the Queen of Swords, but I mean it doesn't have to be a female. It could be somebody who's a little younger and not sort of been in politics that long, like not a seasoned politician. Another way you could read that, because king is somebody who's been doing what they do for years and years and years, and the queen would be a work in progress, so just coming up, but still working in the field, and good at what they do, but not seasoned, been doing it for years and years. Okay. And would be really good at writing and public speaking, and might have come at it from the perspective of, I feel like life coaching or coaching others, or
that would be him.
Teaching people how to be a better version of themselves.
It sounds like him. It sounds like Brian Rose.
That's what she does.
Because I'm just looking on the thing. And I can't see him on there, Rachel. I've just Googled who all the other candidates were.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me a list anyway.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Yeah, all of them, Rachel. That was just the ones I'd heard of. So, yeah. Oh, yes, he was on there. Yeah, Brian.
And how old was he?
He is, well, I don't want to be rude to him now, but Brian, if you're watching, I would say he's probably early 50s, but I might be.
Yeah, I'm getting somebody right about 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah. I think that might be who won, you guys.
Hope so, because that would be really cool, because he's completely different. Yeah. And American.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's got lots and lots of youthful energy, it looks like.
Very much so. And he's got 2 young children.
That makes sense.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
Oh, how exciting.
It really is.
Yeah. So my next question is, this weekend we have got more freedom marches. There's a big one happening in London, and there's ones happening, I think, all over the world. So what I would like to ask, please, is will these freedom marches this Saturday be a catalyst for disclosure?
Lots of people fighting for their rights. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Lots of people fighting for their rights. People up in arms. It looks like half the population's going to show up.
Well, I'm going quite a few of my friends. Yeah.
Oh boy, it looks good. Okay, we got the 5. It's going to take a little longer. It's going to take a little longer. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, so even though they come out at huge amounts, they're going to suppress it, because there's the suppression of nobody's going to tell the truth about the numbers as usual, right? It never gets reported how many actual people go to these things, so it keeps everybody sort of repressed about the information, or not trusting that this is really happening the way it is. But I feel like there's going to be one after that in the next month that's going to be huge. That one's going to do it. That'll be the yeah. So it's like a wave. It's like part of it's coming, and it's going to go back, and then it's going to really come.
Great. I think there's another one at the end of the month. I think it's the 29th or something. So, yeah. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because there's a bigger one. Yeah. Good.
Must be just after the full moon. I think it's the 23rd, the full moon. Is it a pink moon?
Cool. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I remember somebody telling me last month that there was a big pink moon coming on the 23rd of May.
Such a great number. The 23rd. It's a great number. Yeah. It's one of my favorite numbers. I don't know why. I just love it.
It has nice energy, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay, so we on to the next one.
Yes, gosh, we get good answers tonight. We're liking these answers.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to have to be slightly cryptic on this one because of all these shenanigans going on. But Tony Blair, and the I don't know, can I say his name? Mr. O, who was president previously.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yep. Mr. O and Big Mike. Yep.
Yeah, Mr. O and Big Mike. were arrested, supposedly. So it was in the Canadian Beaver, is that correct? And it was in a Spanish newspaper as well. But because I think of the legalities and court cases, etc., it wasn't allowed to be aired or told anywhere else in the world. But Tony, what did we call him? Big Bill. No, not Big Tony. Blaringly obvious, obviously. 1997 until 2007, he was in power in the UK, and he literally dismantled all the good things about the UK, and obviously created all their deep, baddie things, deviant things. Yes. So my question really was, is it blaringly obvious that he's still alive? Because he's a naughty man.
Oh, he is alive, but he is being held. Okay, is that what you were wondering? Oh, he's begging and singing and trying to make deals.
He's a canary.
Yeah, he's singing like a canary. He's singing like a canary. He's been taken somewhere overseas from where he is from. Eventually, he'll likely leave the Earth plane because of his crimes against humanity.
Good.
He's quite depressed, actually.
Good.
Yeah. And they've got a lot on him around issues with and or crimes against children. Infants.
Yeah. His family as well.
Yeah. Infants. Yeah.
So nasty piece of work. Well, he's tied to Big O, isn't he? So.
Well, wasn't he good buddies with Mr. O and Big Mike?
Yeah.
Anybody close to those guys and partying with those guys, they had horrendous, despicable parties that were just like staff walked in on them. Like there's all kinds of stories and whistleblowers, but of course it never gets talked about much, but it will walk in on them and just like horrific, like stuff that would need cleanup, like just gross.
Yeah. Well, he wanted permanent lockdowns in the UK. He wanted the Jabberwocky and the passports for everybody. And then...
if that isn't deep state, like seriously, that is not about the people. Yeah. That is against the people.
And he didn't want to... sorry. I was just going to say he thought it was a really bad idea to leave the EU. So I wonder what the EU was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you just don't know. I know you said this before, Janine, but you just look at some people, and when you look at him, he just looks like a cold-blooded creep. He's just a complete slime ball in every way. So we've got no sympathy for you, Tony. I can imagine him squealing like a little pig. And that's being rude to pigs. So that's really amazing. Now, we've got one of the questions I wanted to ask Janine is the UK military currently working with the USA military or military alliance?
So yes, undercover. So it's covered up. They don't want to do it in public. See, this is like, they're not showing something here. Okay, so it's hidden. They've been working together for a long time.
Yeah.
Months and months. They're working against these guys, deep state, dark cult, and they got a really good handle on it, frankly. In fact, they first made their first alliance together with that group 2 years ago, it looks like.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is good news. So they could have done quite a lot in 2 years' time. Gosh.
Wow. Oh, I'm so relieved. I'm really relieved. I thought they were, and there's loads of people all over the country that are talking about seeing lots of American helicopters and action and military. And you had some friends, didn't you, Rachel, who were near some of the airports who were seeing quite a lot of unusual helicopter action and things. So I really hoped it was, but it's really nice to have that reassurance.
It's those big planes, because one went over just recently, and then a friend of a friend was hanging out her washing, and this cargo plane silently was just going between the houses.
Wow. It's incredible how silent they can be too for such big aircraft. It's crazy, man. They got technology way beyond. People need to remember that their technology is so beyond what you can fathom.
Yeah.
So every time I look at it, it's beyond, like, it's hard to even talk about because people will think I'm crazy, kind of thing. And that I've been doing it in degrees, but it's nuts.
Yeah, I can't wait until we dig up all the roads and we don't have to have roads and all this nonsense going on. We can just have beautiful countryside.
Yeah.
That'll be amazing.
I can't wait. They're really excited about that.
Actually, well, in terms of talking about nature, on my next question, there are reports, I think this is utterly ridiculous, and I think it's something kind of to do with the scaremongering, but GMO mosquitoes have been released by the gating people, apparently in Florida. And so there's loads of reports of these GMO mosquitoes. And actually there was one on our Google News today. I went to click on it and the link has been deleted. And they were saying that they're on our way, that they've got these GMO mosquitoes on the way to the UK.
Luckily, I've got lots of bats. I can eat them. Wonder what happened to the bats.
Yeah. Is it true?
It feels like a story generated. It feels like they might actually have put out a batch just to show you what it looks like. They're putting something out there. This is purposely put out there. So a whole bunch of information most of it might even be not true with the justice card there. I think that was nipped in the bud. So I think that was something they were going to do. And this is what actually happened, because this card sort of, everything turns out way better than you think it does. So it was started out to be a plan. I think Mr. Gate and Company, who's now playing Mr. Gates, whatever. And that bunch who's sort of in front of that, sort of those corporations, that got nipped in the bud many, many months ago is what I get. And so they've downplayed the whole thing, but they're releasing a batch just to show you what it could look like. So people probably will even find a few of them.
I wonder if they look at them under the microscope, I wonder if the mosquitoes will be wearing little white hats.
Or black ones.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, this is just nuts. Like, I can't even, like 107 would always say, some people are not going to like the movie. Some people are not going to like the ending, but yeah, it's hard to fathom.
It's really hard to fathom.
The orchestration that's going on. It's just,
yeah. I think an ending would be very much welcome for people who know exactly what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm saying, bring it on, bring it on.
So are we. We're just so trying to manifest this, to really coming now. Yeah. I think particularly for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere that are having our summer, we need it whilst we've got the nice new sun. Yeah. Everyone can get outside, you can be in nature, you can de-stress yourself with that. Well, there's nothing worse than half this stuff coming out in the middle of winter when everyone's down already. Yeah. So the next series of questions, which we probably got a few on, Rachel, for Janine, is the current events in Israel. I'll start off with a very general one. Rachel sent me a really good recording from Gala Lucy, who's sort of, how would you describe her, Rachel? She's a
medium. Yeah.
Channeler, written lots of predictive books back in 2014, I think, for a long while ago. So are the current events that we're seeing in Israel with the explosions and things, are they a trigger for disclosure coming very soon?
Because they were the last on the list, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of what's happening is a big facade. It's way different than it's being presented. All of these cards are, so this is deeply hidden agendas and possibly exposing deeply hidden agendas and really, really unique situation. So they're taking a situation and exposing it, whatever you're seeing there. And I'm not looking at the news around that because it's almost too overwhelming sometimes. So I like it when someone else asks me because I have no clue. Like, I'm fresh. Mm-hmm. I have no idea what's really going on there, but it looks like whatever it is totally manipulated. It's they took something and they're exposing it with it. They being, I'm thinking good guys. Mm. I mean, it doesn't sound very good, but it feels like it's being exposed. It's hard. What's going on looks like it's really hard, and they had a hard choice to do it this way, but they had to expose it somehow. So there's an exposure going on with the current situation, and it's against these guys. So they're exposing the dark cult, the deep state, because they're really, really entrenched in that area. Yeah. So they're literally exposing them. So it's not them doing that. It's the good guys somehow. It's an exposure of what those guys are doing. What they've been doing there for a really long time is what I get.
Yeah, she said it was a show and that it was in the 99 point whatever percent, completely harmless, but it looked...
Yeah, which would make sense because the bad guys wouldn't keep it harmless.
No, absolutely. So and then they
that looks like what I'm getting there, which is there. It's all been. It's trying to expose something.
Mm. Well, they had lots of actors running, scared and screaming, and all the rest of it for the news.
Interesting, hey? Wow, what an orchestration.
Any ideas? Does it say anything about the timescales for the disclosure, Janine?
Yeah, let's ask that specifically.
I'm sorry, Rachel, put in with another question.
No, it's all good.
That's an important thing, isn't it? Because throughout this whole business, Israel has, the poor people of Israel, but they've really been great indicators of what's been going on from the dark side of the things, and they've borne a lot of the brunt of things.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just say something interesting here. The biggest sort of hold up, or who believes it needs to take as long as it's taking, is the off-worlders. They're watching and they're detached and they're saying, we weren't ready yet. It'll happen exactly when it's supposed to, because this card's like temperance is patience and perseverance. Universal timing is in effect. Okay, so the universe is going to choose, and in this case, particularly like universal off-worlders, okay, that are more wise than the human race, watching things from a bigger perspective, and that's hard to hear, frankly. But I feel like they're strategically, really, really every single day meeting and looking at things, which I was getting around Cheyenne Mountain. I get that they meet there regularly. So it's very soon though. It's really soon. I'm not going to give any dates because every time we say it's a date, it doesn't come out to be the date. The universe's version of soon.
Yeah.
All right. But it's like, it's going to happen. This card manifests it physically, literally. Yes, we will know the truth. Yeah, it will be given. But they're saying that the wisdom of the universe is in charge here, not us.
Yeah.
So we can't make it go any faster than it is. They got an agenda. They got a reason. I trust it, but it's hard to trust sometimes.
If we could have a word with them, that would be fantastic.
You can. We're all going to have a word with them now. Come on. Well, yeah.
But we'll be popping to Mars this time next year, I should imagine.
Yeah, every single day I have a word with them, let me tell you. And I like to talk to my trees, and I tell the trees to take the message upward and or dimensional or whatever happens. I'm not sure how it works, but I tell the universe, through the trees. They're my messengers.
I always imagine thoughts and words, be careful for your thoughts travel miles. But I feel like they're little bits of light that hang suspended in the air, and you know, that they do affect the world, don't they? Everything, like
absolutely.
A little cobweb of everything that we attach ourselves to, and that is, yeah.
Well, just before I'm going to, because I can tell you to, because luckily no one else is watching, so they won't think I'm mad. Just before this thing, I took my dogs on a really lovely walk, and it's all beautiful through the woods. And just like you, Janine, I'm always talking to the trees. And then just suddenly the dogs looked to one side, and there were two beautiful roe deer just standing there staring at us, absolutely beautiful. And they said it's coming really soon.
Awesome.
Really, really soon. And they were just, it was unusual because I had the two dogs with us that, you know, normally they'd have run off, and they didn't run off at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that backs it up. How exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Nature's your best. Like if you're getting really confused and angry and or upset, or you're in the dark about everything and you can't trust anybody, truthers are all not working for you, whatever, go in the nature. Go sit on some grass if you can possibly find a little patch of nature and be in it, breathe it in. It'll tell you exactly what's going on in your heart. It'll just tell you in your heart if you're hearing. Just open your heart to it.
And if you can, take your shoes and socks off.
Oh, yeah. Now that it's warmer, we can do that here too now. Yay.
We're nearly in double figures up north. I think you'll probably definitely be in double figures, Catherine, where you are.
It's just been absolutely beautiful here. It really has been beautiful. That's why everyone's so happy. It's just been really perfect weather because it's not too hot for the animals, but it's really lovely, and you can walk around without your woolly hat on.
Remember I said that was coming?
Yeah, exactly.
Last week, you guys were so worried about it. It was terrible weather.
Yeah.
And you gave a date about that one.
Yeah. Right. And it was right. Yeah. How exciting.
Thank goodness one of the dates turns out.
Yeah. Your turn, Rachel.
Okay. So, and I suppose because we like to be nice and positive, and, you know, it is so lovely to share good news, because I think lots of people are having a nightmare. I think it is totally within the perception of where you are and what you're thinking and what you're manifesting as well. But we cannot have the light unless we have seen the darkness. So my question is, for the cards, is essentially around heaven on earth that is coming, which is what I really think is going to come. Compared to where we are now, it is going to be heaven on earth. So I think August, you know, onwards, things are going to start to progress and things will dramatically change. And I can't imagine the news being, you know, everything being given all in one go. But I was going to ask for your words of wisdom, the cards, about the heaven on earth, and, you know, I suppose the stages of in which humanity will be looking forward to. Not everybody will, but I think, you know, those that do survive.
Okay. Okay, so there's still some of this on the earth that they need to deal with. Okay, and we've got the 6, but a whole lot of them, these bad guys, are ratting out their people. So that's a big theme. They're trying to come over. There's a whole bunch of coming over, trying to come over to the good side, like all the rest that are left, sort of, and knowing that all of their cohorts are in all kinds of big trouble, and they're figuring out what's been happening, of course. It feels like that's something that has to, like, that still will remain sort of an upset energy, sort of not. So we have to be really patient and persevering with that kind of tidying. I feel like there's a tidying up there. Okay, 7. And then this is a slow change over the next 6 months to a year. So you'll really see a lot over the next 6 months to a year. You're halfway through the process. Well, I think halfway through the process is the halfway through the first we had to deal with who was oppressing us. That took years and years. Okay. And then we're going to move into the good part slowly, because we have to change. Now we have to go into every single government. Once people realize their governments have fallen, because a lot of them have fallen, they're not, or they're being puppeted.
Yeah.
Okay, so once all of that comes out, they're going to have to change from the inside out how they govern. Everybody's going to have to figure out how they're going to do that. I feel like it'll take some years to see the beauty that you're talking about. But I think we're really on the other side of where it can be that, because we took care of these guys and they're even ratting out their friends. And so the rest will be got by the ratting out of. So that's good.
Yay.
Okay, I'll just pull one. Yeah, so it's saying within 3 years, you'll see, with a lot of hard work, all the foundations have to get recreated. Like, we got to look at every single child foundation. Almost all of them, turns out, they're trafficking devices, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Operations. Every single, all of these religious groups, a whole bunch of them are bad guys. So they got all of that has to get figured out. People have to recognize that, step away from them, don't give them any energy, blah, 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 blah. Everybody who's a Catholic's going to have to weigh out, are they okay with what the Vatican's been known to be doing? And so their whole religion, so they might want to, rebrand themselves or something. That's what I would suggest. Maybe don't call yourself that anymore. Maybe, but get spiritual on your own. Everybody needs to reconfigure how they're being spiritual here, because the biggest suspects are all covered up in supposed spirituality. New Age, the whole New Age thing, turns out it's a big dark state, deep state, dark cult yuckiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there's going to be a lot of work in the rebuilding, but at least the rebuilding gets done and we do create that place we want to be.
Yeah. I was going to get loads of little, tiled wheelbarrows so that children can come and build their own gardens.
Awesome. Right? Like, just using our land differently, rethinking, obviously, how we do our businesses. Who do we affiliate with? Because so many companies are suspect and a part of the bad guys.
Yeah. Wow. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I have memories, because my children used to have those little mini wheelbarrows, Rachel, and they're
really
cute. Yeah, they used to do everyone when they were doing the horses and everything when they were toddlers. So my next question, Janine, is, when we're talking about off-worlders who are looking in and giving this advice and everything, does that, as well as sort of other species, does that also include humans and animals that have passed over? So are they part of this? Are they also able to give advice on this? Are they part of that sort of structure of advice network?
Interesting question.
Because I'm positive my dad would have some really good suggestions.
Oh.
I think we have to make a conscious effort to listen for the guidance of that group. I think we have to ask them. I think they need permission to. Like, every time I'm in any kind of quandary, especially around earth plane stuff, business and finance, which I used to not be good at. Now I'm actually really good at. It took me years and years and years. I would avoid being good at it. And my sister Barb, who passed over in 2012, she a year older than me. She comes to me like more than she did in life.
Wow.
So I actually, and this is going to sound weird, but I don't miss her because she's with me all the time. Mm. She's literally in my head and heart all the time. She leaves dimes everywhere still. Like, every time I look down somewhere, there's a dime sitting there. It's from her. I know it is. In my car, just the other day, I get in, there's a dime, and I know I don't have any change in my purse anymore. So that dime just jumped in the car somehow. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, she always gives me advice, but I have to ask her for it. And then there she is right there. it give, it's clear as a bell what she says in my head. So I feel like we have to help, we have to bring that, we have to invite their guidance. So when we're trying to figure out our new governments and our new ways forward, channelers, light workers, and people that are working for the good need to channel those beings or people individually that feel connected to their passed on loved ones. They need to listen in their hearts what those people would say.
Oh, that's such a lovely story.
Yeah. So I think they're willing to help at any time, energetically there for you. But you literally have to assume that they're going to speak to you. Like you have to trust that.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Well, yes, it's dear to Catherine's heart, that question was, because Catherine lost her daddy last year. So, yeah. Okay, deep breath, because it's upsetting me, because I think it's upsetting Catherine, sorry. I'd love to ask a question about 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 in terms of the Aquarius age and how amazing it's going to be. I mean, there are two sides of the story. There's all the kind of technology side to the Aquarius age, etc.
Yep.
But she says that everything starts to happen in June, and she said this, I think, from day one. And I didn't want to listen to it because I didn't want it to be June, because that was, I think, January or something. But she does make a lot of sense, and so I'm just wondering, kind of energetically around 𝐈𝐸 it would be really interesting to find out what you see in your cards, Janine.
Okay, she's very much connected to source.
Yeah.
She's getting all kinds of intel from the universe. There's all these people running around saying they're getting intel, but personally, I think the people getting it directly from the universe. That's the only ones I'm listening to. So we've got 10. So she's absolutely got tons of guides, like literally like a legion of guides from the other side helping her. So I don't know what you're trying to get, but she looks like she's getting it. And think about it. June's when I got all of this silliness about the jab and all the scary things they're talking about. That all goes by the wayside, literally. I'm sticking to that. All of a sudden that gets put over there because it's completely just about ready to be completely called out. If someone doesn't know it's called out yet, then they need to like dig a few more rabbit holes. Come on, you guys. Yeah. So, and that makes sense. That could be astrological. That could be why she's getting it like that, June. Because June makes sense. Doesn't mean everything gets solved. Like obviously we need to rebuild after that, but big shifts for sure.
Wow. Well, the lovely thing is, there's yourself, and I think you just have this soothing way of even if the world was going to end, Janine, I think everyone would just feel fine about it, honestly. I really do. It's so straight talking, and just, energetically, we are just here over and over again. I think that a really good illustration of it film-wise was a Hollywood film called 𝐈𝐥𝐿. But it was quite illuminating on, I suppose, the eyes are the windows to the soul, and they are ours every time we come back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's yourself, and then there's 𝐈𝐸. And if I'm ever feeling kind of, this has to end now, I listen to her and I listen to you. And she's actually in Israel. So she's in the thick of it, she's not allowed to do this. She's not allowed to buy food. She's not, but she's like, it's fine. I go to my friends, and it's all right. I just take my own towel and I go and lie on the beach, but you're not supposed to if you haven't jabberwockied yourself.
Yeah.
I think, do you want to ask another question? Sorry, Catherine.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just leading on from what you just said, though, I so hope it is June, because all the universities or colleges, as they call them in America, they're all insisting that all the students have it. They're all mandating it. It's horrific. So I've got that current battle on my hands. The trouble is, pardon?
Let's ask about that. Is that going to?
That would be a really great one to ask about, please, because the thing is they're mandating it and sending it out now. So they're telling everyone they've got to have it, you know, over the summer before they come back, so that they've had both doses 6 weeks or whatever before they come back. But of course, that means lots of these young people are going to be having it now because most of their parents and them aren't aware of any issues.
That gets left behind. That gets walked away from. Left behind, walked away from. All of these 5s and an 8. So yeah, they're going to, like, this is the walking away. They're going to walk away from those mandates. They're walking away, and it has something to do with some kind of exposure. Good guys exposure.
Because it needs to happen now, because they're all having it now.
Who exposure? Well, you know, like, I guess they have to like use their noggins and don't have it now. And be patient and wait. Unfortunately, like, they're going to need to. I wouldn't let anybody in that age group. There's no reason for it.
I wouldn't, Janine. But the trouble is, most people. You know, my daughter's in a flat, and you know, her whole group of 20 friends. She's the only one that thinks like this. So it's very tragic to see it happening. You know. Yeah. But let's hope. This is why I know
we get the fake ones. Do you know what I mean? Because there's booby trapped. You know, I know, like, I can't speak for, you know, why that's all happening. I don't know, right? But I know that there's booby trapped ones, and I also know that a lot of the things they say supposedly are going to happen if you do take it are going to. I just don't see it in the cards. Like, I can see that there's been issues and there's batches of booby trap things. So your only hope there is to obviously ask your child to wait.
No, I'm not worried about mine. It's for everyone else.
Yeah. So they're going to have to just do whatever they do, right? Like humans need to understand we can't save everybody. They got to think for themselves. Humans have to learn to think for themselves. And if some issues happen with some of them, which hopefully they don't, but they might, then that sometimes is what teaches people not to be sheep. Like, it sounds cruel. I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm just saying, really, there's enough information out there. You'd have to be a kind of stupid, in my humble opinion, to do anything like that, or even suggest your child does. So use your noggins, people, and just be patient and wait. Just hold off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm yet to try this, but apparently if you get a fridge magnet onto where the Jabberwocky was, it sticks. Wow.
I'm going to get magnets, and I'm going to go and stick them to loads of people and see what happens.
Yeah. It's like I'm not. I don't know, like, why that's happening. When I look at it, it always looks like it's not nearly what they're saying it is. So that's all I can go on, right? I don't know, but I just tell everybody, just wait. Don't do anything till the end of June. Don't do any. And even after that, I would never take that anyway. That's just silly. For something that's so curable and or get overable. Like, why would you even do that?
I think one of our shenanigans, Mr. Hancock, he has other names as well.
Yes. I can say I don't call him anymore.
That was a polite way. I think he went on to Sky News and told everybody that your immune system is much better than the Jabberwocky.
Of course.
He's the one rolling it out.
So, like, even them being publicly saying the opposite, like, that's a wake-up call. Yeah. It's like, don't do it.
Gosh, I didn't see that, Rachel. Was that recently?
Yeah, that was on... Yeah. I can't remember where I saw it now, but
if you listen, they all literally, like that Fauci character, he's literally said the opposite all kinds of times, and they got all kinds of video footage of him saying one thing and exactly the opposite thing. Well, which one is it? Right there, that says stop everything, don't do anything that these people say.
That was for the facial nappies, especially, definitely. Oh, yeah. I'd love to ask a question about, in 8 days, apparently on the 20th of May, the 15 plus 2 ceases, the clock stops. I'd love to ask about, I don't know if we're going to get a new one or if it's, I don't know, but it is the 20th of May, just before the full moon.
And that's really interesting, Rachel, because, you know, in terms of it's like the next cycle, perhaps, of the next stage of everything.
Maybe they rolled the movie a different direction. You know how movies have all of these stages? Right now we're in that long, drawn out stage of scaring the you know what out of us, because it's a horror movie and we're headed for the cliff, long and slow. Also, like, there's all these booby traps and scary monsters jumping out at us every few feet, you know, that part of the movie. Maybe it stops the clock and then the movie starts going to finally the good guys start winning. That would be nice.
It's like, then, as you say, the next cycle, that would be amazing.
Oh, that would be so good. Okay, so something really big seems to happen there. Wow. And it might be headed off by some people being either known to be gone,
Catherine.
So where you find out they're gone and how they went, or also somebody leaving the Earth plane, which I was getting for quite a while. Some big, like that could head everything off. So there's a huge wake up call within hours of the clock stopping is what I get. So wake up call. So
what did the heart represent?
Three of Hearts, finding out about people gone, and or maybe like even how they went, or the news of losing somebody really important, maybe the Queen. Okay, I think she was gone a long time ago, but did you guys hear that? Apparently, like in the UK, on some news guy just this morning, everybody was sending this to me. I don't know if it was morning for you guys, it would have been maybe afternoon, but he blurted out that news that the Queen had died. And then, they backed it up and said, he'd misspoke. So they actually announced her death, and then he backed it up. Some guy on UK television.
Didn't hear that. The trouble is, I don't watch any television.
Everybody sent it to
you on people sending me stuff. So if you see anything like that, send it to us. Oh my God. Brilliant.
So they're giving the heads up that that's coming. That's what they're doing. It's obvious. Yeah. I'm going to look at it tonight in Tarot by Janine for tomorrow's. But yeah, it's like, I feel like it's the beginning of what you guys have been calling the big exposures. I feel like now it goes the other way, and the good guys start looking like we're winning. I think we've been winning all along, but we've looked like we're losing. And our family members, mine anyway, they think I'm totally a loser. And you know what I mean? Right. And everybody thought Mr. T lost and all that stuff. I think it's it winds the movie around the other way, and we start seeing the other side of this movie. That would be awesome.
The clock starts going backwards rather than.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So amazing, because we don't want to gloat, but sometimes it does get a bit hard when literally virtually everyone around you thinks you're a complete nutter. And most of the time I'm fine, because my cats and dogs and horses don't think I am. But actually sometimes it just gets a little bit much, doesn't it, for everyone? So that winding the clock back leads really nicely onto how we're doing for time. We've got time for one more, Janine?
Sure.
Winding the clock back leads really nicely onto my next question. And this isn't related directly to the med beds, but it could be. But for me, my mindset is I don't want everything to be dependent on the med beds, if you see what I mean. That's just a tool, which is brilliant for those that need it, but not that we should all be dependent on them. Yeah. But in general, when we're moving into this new reality, will aging slow down?
Interesting question. I like that. That's why I was thinking.
Yeah,
going backwards. We just get younger. We'll just be like the good part of L'Oreal.
Mentally, I'm regressing. I have been for years.
Yeah, there's no point growing up.
It's saying a big part of aging is fear of it, and stress, and the stressful lifestyles we live. We didn't even know they were as stressful as they are. It's like, think about how much more stressful your life's got over the last 20 years even, just like nonstop. Like, it's like we've slowly been just like that frog in the water getting hotter and hotter and hotter until this crescendo of, the lockdowns and everything that a lot of people went, I think we've been messed with. Yeah. So our food's been poisoned, water, our minds, we've been mind controlled, all of this stuff, right? So that's this card in the past. That was a big part of aging. That was a big part of it.
I agree.
Maybe even from the beginning of time, like all the kinds of stresses humans have been under. Think about even years gone by, hundreds, 200, 300, all of the stuff humans went through. A lot of it we're now seeing were manipulated by this group of people that have been manipulating things from the beginning of time. The Canaanites, okay, those guys. So they've been manipulating things right from all organized religions to they've been sneaking things in our food. They've been doing everything. Okay, so slowly aging us or making us age quicker or worrying us to death and whatever.
Well, we are quite resilient though, aren't we? I mean, they've been trying to
That's how magical we are. I feel like once we know, so we're going to get our magic back, once we realize, because honestly, I haven't really listened to a lot of this. So I'm not saying I'm so youthful or whatever, but in my energy, I actually am really youthful. I don't buy for 1 second I'm 60. I'm like, no.
Right here.
Okay. Now we're not doing it. Some of us have managed to defy it to some degree anyway. Do you know what I mean? And I do see evidence of that around. And those are usually people that don't watch mainstream media. I haven't watched it in years. And except I got hooked on CNN. But I think I got hooked on CNN a couple of years ago, just so I could then figure out I was hooked on CNN and recognize what was going on for most people. A lot of times healers have to get the illness first, and then they can heal themselves and then others. So I'll make that excuse.
Yeah, it's very true though. It's very true. Can I say that you can't age if you've got guinea pigs? It's impossible. So if everyone got a herd of guinea pigs, kept them in a really lovely, big, beautiful, not in a hutch, anyone, but I think if you spend time with guinea pigs, you can't age.
That's so funny.
True. They're the most amazing little creatures ever.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
I think I might start growing up when I'm about 160.
Exactly.
Right. So it does look like it'll slow down a lot just from the difference in our atmosphere. What's around us, what we're allowing in, how we're eating, all of that's going to make a huge difference. Just that. And then our mindset, because we've been taught, just think about all the commercials and everything about telling you about the diapers you're probably going to wear in the next few years. So you better buy this brand and all of the kinds of stuff that's going to happen to you. Okay. All the creams they sell, the women. Okay. And people are asking me all the time. I definitely just let the wrinkles happen, because you know what? It means I've been smiling. One of the most beautiful things I love about my mom is thank goodness I have somewhat of her looks. Okay. The most beautiful woman, really, truly, and has the most, and I always loved her crow's feet because she has the biggest smile. And that's what I got from her. I got my dad's eyes, but I got my mom's big smile, and she smiles and laughs constantly, which is beautiful. And let those crow's feet just go, because it reminds me of her big smile. Right. It's like we're going to look differently at aging, and we're not going to age the same way.
Love it.
That's lovely. What a lovely, lovely answer.
There we go. We've got so much to look forward to, haven't we? I mean, we've got popping off to Mars, doing a road trip, Janine moving house and having loads of help from all of us. We've got no more creams to slap on anybody's face. We're going to start potentially growing up when we're kind of maybe 200, 400 years old. So, there's all this connection with the trees. I always think about anti-gravity wheelbarrows. I think that would be quite funny.
It would be, when I spend all that time pooping in the fields. It's exhausting. It is, yeah. We have got so much to come to look forward to. Yeah, we really have. How exciting!
Yeah, Rachel, that word wheelbarrows come up several times with you.
Yeah,
I know.
What's that? What are you signaling with that word?
Yes.
Well, you know, because I've been picking out weeds pretty much every day when I've got like a tiny bit of time, and when I close my eyes at night, all I can see is pluck, pluck, pluck.
Oh my goodness.
Weeding. Well, the raspberries in the field, because we've got so many of them. And I've just been ordering 15 tons of manure from the farmer next door. And I said, only when you're ready, no rush, it's fine. And he turned around and said, oh, good.
Yeah. I've got more than that at the bottom of my garden, Rachel. My horses use that a day.
Bring it up. Yeah. Pop the spaceship over and we can have a word with these people that seem to think, or not even people, off-worlders that seem to think that, you know, things are not necessarily going to happen quickly and smoothly, but I think we probably could, you know. I think if we give a lot of love to the world and appreciation and, you know, there's so much to everybody's story, and we're all like a little jigsaw puzzle, aren't we? And if every piece was just beautifully coloured and appreciated and loved, then the connection and how it actually fits together like a jigsaw puzzle is just incredible.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Lovely. Well, have an amazing week, all of you. We will speak next week. In fact, next week I'll be somewhere different. I hope the internet's okay, because my daughter and I are going off walking somewhere different in the UK with our doggies. So that should be exciting. So if I don't get lost, we'll see you next Wednesday.
Awesome.
Thank you.